Obviously, if you guys watched the video I did on the Engl Fireball 25, you know not only am I a huge fan from that video, but it has been in about 90% of the videos that I've made since reviewing the Fireball 25. I was thinking what it was a smaller version of the Fireball. It is physically smaller, but it's not. So let's go over it. It's really an attempt at making an amp that does everything. This video could be 2 hours long just going over features, so I'm going to go over the highlights of the things that I'm really impressed with. So what you have is a 20-watt all-tube amplifier, 2 EL84s for power tubes, 5 preamp tubes. The front-end controls give you a clean and lead gain control, a bass, middle, and treble control for both channels, lead presence, which is just a presence control, but only for the lead channel, lead volume, and of course a master volume. Now accessible from the front panel, you have 8 switches that allow you to add features to the amp. You have a gain boost. It works just like a boost pedal. You have the lead and clean control switch. This is your switch that switches between your 2 channels. The effects loop, of course, allows you to turn on and off your effects loop, and there's a built-in noise gate so that you can turn that on and off. Now, going from the top row from right to left, there's a delay. That's an actual full-featured delay, which we'll get to when we get to the back of the amp. Reverb, which is digital reverb. MVB, which is another boost, but this is a clean boost. Let's say you want to do a solo, it would put you about 2 decibels above the normal volume. There's a store switch that allows you to store any presets you're doing if you're doing a MIDI controllable foot switch. Now looking at the back of the amp, you can see the options are even more intense than the front of the amp. You have a 3-knob control of your delay. You have the mix, the time, and the feedback, just like if you bought a nice delay pedal that's built into the amp. You have a reverb, like I said, it's digital, and you can increase how much the reverb you get. You get a noise gate, again, you can increase how much noise gate you get. You get an IR balanced output, pre and post, and as you can see, you have a power soak that allows you to give the full 20 watts, 5 watts, 1 watt, or speaker off if you want to do late night playing, where if you see here, you have a headphone control with an independent volume on that, so you can use it as a late night jamming amp for your headphones. Now, foot switch, it doesn't come with one, so you can buy a foot switch that allow you to switch between the 2 channels and the gain boost, or you can plug a MIDI foot switch in, and like I said, control all 8 of those switches in the front. The MIDI switch does not control the actual knobs. It's not like presets. This isn't a digital amplifier. This is a tube amplifier with some digital effects and other things added to it. Now, it has a USB port, but that USB port is to input impulse responses. It comes with 3 impulse responses. You can see it's labeled here in the back of the amp, which are Engl cabinets, but you can add numbers 4 through 8 if you want to download or upload, I should say, any of your impulse responses into the amplifier, and they'll stay programmed in the amp with this IR selector switch. There's an effects loop, which like I said, that's foot switchable if you go with MIDI. It has a IR balanced output, which you can use to plug in a PA or your interface on your computer, and again, that would have your IR selector built into that. And of course, it has your speaker output that lets you go to 16 or 8 ohms. Now, also important to mention is this amp is made in Germany, and it is built tough with a 1/4-inch steel frame. But all of that, as I always say, doesn't matter until we kind of listen to what it does. The amp is running through a 112 Engl cabinet with a vintage 30. And I have it mic'd up with just a Zoom recorder. So I'm just getting the natural recording of the speaker. We're using a Zoom recorder. I'm gonna start with the clean channel. This is the clean channel with their reverb. So the first thing I want to say is the clean channel is very clean and chimey. So what about pedals? Well, if you've been watching the channel lately, you know one of my favorite pedals I've discovered is the Red Dirt Drive by Keeley. I'm gonna turn that on and run that into this. It's kind of like the ultimate tube screamer. Here's your clean. Then of course you have the dirty channel, which is right here. And again, I'm still using the digital reverb. Here's your dirty channel, and I have the gain turned down. And then again, there's a boost, but it's just a volume boost, so you can do the lead. So again, all that could be assigned to your foot switch or your MIDI switch. Now, also, if you don't have a MIDI switch or you don't want to go that route, you can plug a standard foot switch that's not included with the amplifier and switch between the two channels. And of course, you have delay. Now, the delay flashes to let you know what time it's set to. Now maybe reverb and delay is a little much. You can turn the reverb off. Now let's go ahead and run the gain. We're gonna, whoops, wrong one. We're gonna run the gain. Not quite 100%, we're about 80%. Right, here we go. Very cool. And of course, noise gate. So if you don't want to hear all that noise, and the noise gate allows the delay to happen. It doesn't choke off the delay. So think about that. If you had a noise gate built in, let's say on your Fireball 25, you're running your delay in front of the amp, it would be choking that off. So that's what's nice about how they've kind of set it into the amplifier itself. Something else I want to show you, since we know you have this gain and now of course delay, let's show you without the delay with the noise gate. And I have the noise gate pretty aggressive right now. I'm gonna go ahead and run the gain on 10. Right now it's running through the actual cabinet in the room. I have it mic'd, but also I'm running the line out into my recording software. So if you're playing at night and you want to not hear your cabinet anymore, but just use the recording software, you just hit standby. So as I always do, I presented this video to my patrons for early release, and I received a lot of questions, but there was one particular question that kept coming up over and over again, which is, which one do I like better, the Ironball or the Fireball? If you think about it, these two amps are really at odds with each other, and the main reason is for that reason. One is kind of like everything you need, and one is just what you need. Sound-wise, here's where it gets a little interesting. They sound very similar. I'm gonna show you that right now. But I will tell you that when turned down to moderate room levels, whether you're using it in your home or maybe lower volumes for studio recording, they're pretty on par. It's almost hard to distinguish one from the other. When you turn them up, however, in a gig situation or in a band rehearsal situation, I think the Fireball just kind of punches a little bit harder with the mids. And so in that regards, I do like the Fireball just a little bit more in the overall tone of the mids, and the clean channel, same thing, more in the mids, where this is not as heavy in the mids. Let me show you a couple things. First, what I want to do is show you the clean channel. I'm running through the same 112 Engl cabinet with a Vintage 30. I'm mic'd with the Zoom in the same position as the videos from the other day. And I'm just going to start. Now I'm going to start with no reverb, no anything. This is just the Ironball clean. Now it has a mid boost, and I really think that's nice. So again, both cleans are very good, but of course, reverb, oops, sorry, wrong button. Reverb on this one. Now this has that clean boost at 2 decibels, and it really, believe it or not, I can hear it. I don't think it's supposed to boost your mids, but it does. It's so on the cleans, I think they're on par, and like I said, quality-wise, they sound the same. So let's go ahead and go to the dirty sound, okay? And let's go ahead and switch channels here. If you go to the Ironball, then it has the delay as well. If the question is, can you add delay, reverb, and a cab M, because this also has the direct out with the impulse responses, can you add those features to this? Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. In fact, I would say that if given a dream situation, I think I would like the Fireball 25 to have all these features, like a Fireball Deluxe with all the features that's on the Ironball would be a perfect world for me, and I think I'd be happy because I also like the aesthetics of the Fireball. I just like the classic look of the wood box with the vinyl versus the metal box. But that all being said, if I use the boost on the Ironball, then I like them definitely. I like this better. Which one do I like better? I like the Ironball better. I think I like the features, and that may be just because I'm drawn to that. I like the idea that it's all in one. I don't have to add anything to this. I was already adding a reverb and delay every time I was dealing with the Fireball, and I was happy to do so, but having not have to do that is kind of nice that it's all in one package. I really like the boost features. Again, I don't think the differences in tones are so dramatic that if you went with the Ironball, you would wake up in the middle of the night going, I should have went the Fireball. I should have got the whatever, more fizzy tone or the cleaner with just a little bit more mids. I think you can really get really close with the Ironball to all the tones that the Fireball gives you, but you cannot get the Fireball to give you all the tones the Ironball gives you with all those features. So, and then on that last note, if you have a Fireball, the question is, should you sell it off and get an Ironball? That's a tough question. You would have to factor in what I just said. Does it matter to you to have all the features built in the amp? Are you okay with them being external? That's the only question to ask yourself. So there you have it, the Ironball SE. This is a fantastic amplifier, and I have to say, I want to say thank you to the Engl guys, not only for sending it out for us to check out on the channel, but also for making such a good amp and putting a crap ton of effort in this. Every thought seems like it made sense, and it's really unique to see that nowadays. A lot of times manufacturers really focus on a price point. How do you make a price point happen? And this seems like they just said, how do we make an amp do everything we ever wanted to do, and then we'll see what happens when that's done. And on that note, I'm gonna let you guys go. Thank you guys so much, especially for hanging out to the end of the video. As you know, that helps the videos more than anything else. And of course, till the next time, know your gear. Today's viewer shout out goes out to David. David, thank you so much. Obviously, I love tellies. Tellies in the background, tellies on your shirt. I made sure to play a telly in this video. Thank you again for supporting the channel and for everything you do.